in your brain. You can call things into being that are not as though they were simply by thinking a new idea. You create a pathway for it. And then if you marinate on it, if you think it again and again and again, you start to strengthen that pathway and you make it very efficient. Now you're putting a little bit of oomph to that neural connection. But now if you move on it and take action on it, now you're wiring other neural pathways together with that thought that you have made strong. And you're creating new neural connections through movement. Dan John fans, anybody know Dan John? What does he say from Dan Gable? Dan John said it from Dan Gable. If it's important, do it every day. And that is the secret to building your nervous system. You keep showing up. You move and take action every day. Every day. Simple math, simple addition. So, I think I said this, I'm not sure. It's not about, this might be the quote of the day, I don't know. It's not about having a strong looking body, it's about having strong in your body. And what do I mean by that? Strength in numbers. You guys remember this rhyme? How many chucks could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Anybody ever know the answer? You got an answer? Everybody got an answer? Because I've heard this my whole life, but I've never heard the answer. So if anybody knows, in Geico, I thought Geico was going to solve the problem for me with their commercial, but they didn't answer it either. They just had woodchucks chucking wood. Can you perform 3,650 push-ups? Yeah? All right, so how many repetitions does it take to build a strong neural connection? Anybody know?
10,000.
Okay, so 3,000 to build it, 10,000 to master it. Well, if I did 3,650 push-ups, I bet you I've got some very strong neural connections, right? Can you do that at one time? Could you do it 10 push-ups in a day for 365 days? That is ridiculously simple, right? It might take you 10, 15 seconds. But if you did that every day for a year, you would hit 3,650 push-ups. I guarantee you would have a very strong nervous system in that movement that was capable of so much more than just doing 10. Guarantee it. Could you knock out 7,300 squats? You could if you did 20 a day for a year. Again, now you're taking 30 seconds out of your day. And here's the weird part, and this might be a paradigm shift for you. You can legitimately build strong bodies this way because it's the strong inside the body. It might not look strong, but that doesn't mean it's not strong. Like there's a difference between having guns for show and having guns for go. This can build guns for go, something this ridiculously simple right here. And it is so simple. It takes no time. It is built through showing up every day. That's it. And by the way, if you travel, there are no excuses. 10 push-ups a day, 20 squats a day, you've lost 30 seconds out of your day. What else can you do? Could you add anything else to that? Okay, so here's the cool stuff. There are 3 pillars of human movement. 3. And this is where strength lives, right here. The strength that'll give you the life you want to have. Breathe with your diaphragm. Activate your vestibular system. And engage in contralateral or midline crossing movements. These 3 things are what humans were designed to do throughout your entire life. And if you engage in these 3 things every single day, you will be strong. You will have strength. Physically, mentally, spiritually. But what about neural pruning if somebody hasn't been doing those 3 things? The body's use it or lose it, right? Here's the thing, here's the cool part. We are co-creators. We are not sole creators. So you cannot lose those 3 things because your design is well more wonderful and thought out than we can do anything about. So Those three things are embedded so deeply into your nervous system that you can't lose them because you didn't put them there. Now, the other stuff you built on top of those, you can lose because you added those too. So I graduated from NC State University with a degree in statistics. At one time in my life, I was really, really ridiculously good at math and calculus. I built up neural pathways and connections to be able to do stupid math. I don't have those anymore. And I'm just happy that I can add and subtract. But I can add and subtract because I kept doing those things, but I can't do integrals and intervals anymore because I lost those neural pathways. But I still have the ability to breathe. I still have the ability to engage in my gait pattern and to move my head. Those pathways I didn't put there. Those are always there. You can't lose those, which is great. And those three things, those three pillars, they're the drive of life. They're the foundation. That builds the roots in your tree. And they're pre-programmed into your developmental sequence. So those things are layered in through everything you do as a child to get you strong enough on 2 feet. And we call that pressing reset. And original strength, we have 5 resets. The first one is breathing, and we like breathing so much we mention it twice. It's one of the pillars, it's one of the resets. Head control, rolling, rocking, crawling. How many of you are not here for the pressing reset workshop? So a few? Awesome. Okay, so guys, breathing is not just breathing. It's not about air. It's about air, it's about oxygen, but it's not. Breathing does help you get oxygen out of the air and feed your muscles, but it also helps you build strength from the center out. Your breathing, your diaphragm is a core stabilizer, and it's the captain of your stabilizers. It is how you develop a very strong center through using your diaphragm. And it's even more than that. It affects your hormones. When people breathe up in their neck and their chest, they're breathing with their fight or flight emergency muscles. It puts their nervous system into a sympathetic state. So then you've got adrenaline all the time and cortisol all the time, and they're always stressed out. Their shoulders are tight. They're always breathing shallow. They get tired fast. They can't handle stress at all. Their other hormones are just shot. Their testosterone's out of whack because their cortisol is always up. Their estrogen's out of whack because their adrenaline and cortisol is always up. Breathing, the way you're designed to breathe, is like the balance reset button. It puts your life back in balance. And when you're living in fight or flight, you cannot rest and digest. Kevin talked about how important sleep is. It is. But if you're breathing up in your neck when you're awake, you're breathing up in your neck when you're asleep. You cannot rest and digest. But when you came into the world, in the first 3 months of your life, you did about 7 million breaths with your diaphragm, belly breathing, big giant belly, creating efficient neural pathways on top of that. That's how you're designed to breathe. And if you go back to that, it's amazing. You'll be stronger, you'll have more mobility, you'll sleep better, you'll digest your food better, and you'll just be a lot more relaxed. So breathing is not just about air. And then there's head control. Do you know that every single muscle in your body is attached to your vestibular system? And that we're designed to move our heads? Kevin was talking about cognitive disorders in adults, and as people get older, their brains get smaller and stuff. That's the use it or lose it thing taking place. Your brain's not designed to get smaller. But by simply moving your head, you stimulate your vestibular system all the time, which means you're stimulating that neural connection between every single muscle in your body as well. Keeps you healthy. The number one sign of brain deterioration in an adult is loss of balance. So if an adult does not have good balance, maybe they are more predisposed to Alzheimer's, dementia, and other things like that. But what if they just don't have good balance because they haven't been moving their body like they're designed to move? What if just simply not moving is what leads to brain deterioration and other things like dementia and Alzheimer's? 60 Minutes did a study on people that live over 90, and they followed these people around wherever they went. And all the people that lived over 90 had 3 things in common. They had a social life, they exercised, they had coffee and wine throughout the week, regularly. All of them. So that was what was congruent. And this was in America, this wasn't in Okinawa. So this is like more of our actual culture. But they realized though, well, the people that live over 90, some of them develop Alzheimer's and some of them don't. And so then they started scanning their brains and seeing all the lesions and the plaque buildup that Kevin was talking about this morning. And they followed them around with a camera though. And well, they didn't say this, but you could see it. The ones that did not have Alzheimer's, the healthy brains, they walked like this. The ones that had Alzheimer's walked like this. Do you see the difference? I'll go ahead and tell you right now, walking is the most powerful reset your nervous system has. And it's designed to keep you healthy inside and out throughout your entire life. Rolling. Rolling makes your body fluid and ties everything together. And the truth is, if I roll, rolling is really the foundation of your gait pattern. If you want to walk well, if you want to move well, if you want to be a good dancer, learn how to roll. If you can get fluid rolling on the ground, it will transfer over to your life. It's very powerful. Rocking just soothes everything. Soothes your emotions, ties your body together. It tells your body that every joint is one. You don't have separate joints, you're a collection of joints, and they all know how to move together because of rocking. It also sets your posture, which is reflexive. You guys know that? All right. So, because you're sleepy and it's after lunch, and I'm sorry, but Nick made the schedule. I didn't make the schedule. I was like, Nick, put me first, because I'll do like handstands and backflips, but it's also after lunch. I'm tired. Can we test some of this out? Yeah. So one of the biggest things about how you're designed is, well, even in OS, what we teach is that you can meet a person where they are at. If everybody's body is designed to do this, no matter what condition they're in, well, then they can do this, okay? So what we're gonna do, since you're in chairs, is we're gonna meet you where you are at right here, okay? But to see how it works, we need to see if it does work. So if you can get a partner, and what I want you to do is get a partner, and I want you to you can do a squat or a toe touch or shoulder flexion and see how you're moving. Your partner's job is to see how you're moving, and then you're going to see how your partner's moving too. Does that make sense? So get a buddy, and then test a squat, a toe touch. All right. Everybody got your baseline? All right. Have a seat back in your seat, please. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get on the edge of our chair, sit up nice and tall, and you're going to place your tongue on the roof of your mouth. You're going to take your hands, put them around your waist, and I want you to breathe in and out through your nose, trying to push your fingers apart. So see if you can spread your fingers apart with your breath. Tongue's on the roof of your mouth. Which if you can get your clients, if you can talk to them and somehow get them to believe, and I'm going to show you how to get them to believe in just a second. If you can get them to believe and to practice keeping their tongue on the roof of their mouth throughout their day, you'll change their life forever. Just that. That's probably one of the easiest, simplest gifts you can give somebody. But you have to know it to be able to give it away. believe it. So really try to push those fingers apart. All right, so get with your partner again and redo your baselines and see if you find anything different.
Went from knuckles to...
Gosh, do I want to raise?
No, that's you're amazing.
So much.
You're amazing. That's your body. That's your design. All right. So, did anybody have change? Really? Was it good change? Let me ask you something. Did you do jumping jacks? Did you do a warm-up to be able to move more? No, you engaged your spinal stabilizer by breathing. You turned a lot of good things on. It's like going into a room that's dark and then you just start flicking on light switches. And then you can see clearly because all the lights are on. When you breathe with your diaphragm and put your tongue on the roof of the mouth, you've flipped up two of the most major switches you can flip up. And everything, your body can see clearly now, and now it will let you move. Did any of you do toe touch and it got better? Did you stretch? No. After you did your